Tapjärva. Hello. Thank you for joining me today, guys. This is it. This is the video you've been waiting for years since I started this channel. It's the video where I, an American, I'm going to react to Australian annualization. I don't know what that is. It was sent in by Ange. Thank you, Ange, for sending this in. I think it's got something to do with finance, which is how I know this is going to be my most viewed video ever. Superannuation. But honestly, I love finance stuff, and I love learning about the intricacies of how the Australian government and system all works there. So this is important, I think. Superannuation. There we go. I'm excited. Let's learn.
What is
At least I'm going to learn.
superannuation? Superannuation, according to the
So you can just call it super.
Australian Taxation Office, the ATO, is money put aside by your employer over the course of your working life that you live on once you retire.
Okay, so it's like Social Security.
Superannuation is extremely important as you need a good amount of money to live off when you're no longer working.
That's true, especially the way stuff is going. You ever have an existential crisis about that? Like, oh maybe if I save up $1 million, that'll be enough. That'd be enough to live on. Then you realize, wait, that might only buy me like a cheeseburger in the year 2060.
As long as you continue to work and make regular payments to your super, your investment will grow until the day you retire or until you reach a certain age.
Is it invested in something?
Super introduced? Did you know that up until the mid-1980s, less than 40% of the working population had superannuation? That figure was even less for
It's kind of like a pension.
Blue-collar workers and women, only around 25% in fact. By 1992, compulsory super, the superannuation guarantee, was introduced, requiring all employers to make mandatory contributions for their employees. This new scheme allowed millions of working Australians to now enjoy superannuation benefits of their own. And this helped relieve the growing burden on the taxpayer-funded government pension scheme.
Okay. So it's not funded directly by the government, but it's compulsory, I can barely say that word, for your employer to fund this. It's probably custodied by the government though, right? The money? Because if the company goes bankrupt or something, you don't want your super disappearing, I assume.
And this helped relieve
you don't want that.
Growing burden on the taxpayer-funded government pension scheme. How does superannuation work in Australia? Superannuation is paid by your employer into a super account of your choosing. Your employer is required to pay a minimum of 9.5% of your ordinary time earnings into this super.
Damn! That's a lot.
Fund on top of your yearly base salary. Example given, if you're...
It's actually crazy because salaries in Australia are already good, you know what I mean? Especially like I'm thinking of minimum wage and stuff. It's much better in Australia than here. So the fact that you also get this super thing.
Annual base salary is $100,000.
Damn, I look like I am sitting at the edge of the sun, don't I? Like, I feel like you guys had to put sunglasses on just to watch this video. My bad.
You will get salary. Example given, if your annual base salary is $100,000,
$10,000.
You will get $9,500.
Okay, I rounded up. For some reason, I thought he said 10%. It's 9.5%.
In your super. Once this money is placed into your super fund, it is then invested by your superannuation company. Sample investment breakdown.
What do they buy? Bitcoin? Australian shares? What shares of what? Is that just like top public companies? Like S&P 500 type thing equivalent?
Do you need to have a super fund? If you're an employee in Australia and you meet the minimum requirements, then you are required to be paid super by law. You must be paid super, regardless of whether you are working as casually, part-time, full-time, as a contractor, and even if you are a temporary resident in Australia.
Wait, if you're working as a... This is awesome. Congrats, guys. I'm jealous. I really love a lot of the whole system in Australia as far as like social safety net and stuff. You know, it's not too much. It feels like how America should be. Like, I'm just looking at this. Man, that's crazy. As a part-time worker here in America, or even worse, a contractor, you don't get any. You get nothing. You get nothing. I guess you get Social Security. Not much.
Australia. What is the Superannuation Rate Guarantee, or SG? The Superannuation Guarantee, SG, is the compulsory 9.5% superannuation contribution that employers must pay into their
I should have answered. I could have guessed that.
Employees' super funds.
That makes sense.
Here is a table showing how SG has changed over the years.
Oh, wow. Look at this. It only goes up, guys. That's good. Imagine if it went down. This kind of stuff can never go down. Why does it feel like the sun? I think the actual sun is, that's actually what it is. The sun keeps coming out, and I'll deal with it. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, if you lower stuff like this, people protest. You know what I mean? But at what point does it stop going up? 12%, that's so high. And that's only in 2025. It's coming up. I mean, as the employer, that's pretty cool. Hey, that's cool. I just don't get, at some point, it's got to stop going up before it's like 100% of your wage. And I get that it doesn't come out of your wage. It's supplementary to your wage. I'm just saying the employers aren't going to be able to pay double the wage. Maybe they will. Yeah. Anyway.
What types of super funds are there? What's the difference? Within that tax structure, there are various types of superannuation funds, including retail super funds, industry super funds, corporate or public sector funds.
So this is like
self-managed
what your super's invested in?
Super funds, SMSFs. Retail funds, typically run by banks or investment companies. Anyone is usually able to join. Offers the widest range of investment options, excluding self-managed super funds. Offers various insurance products through the fund. May offer access to financial advice. May offer the ability to view your super alongside other savings accounts. Have employer-sponsored divisions within the fund. Large organizations such as banks and insurance companies tend to run retail super funds. Retail super funds include, for example,
So Acorns is a financial tech company, so I bought everyone's gifts to
AMP Flexible
I didn't
Super.
think I'd be interrupted by The Rock while learning about Australian finance.
Bendigo Smart Start Super, Bendigo Bank. BT Super for Life, Westpac.
BT Super for life, yo.
ING Direct Living Super, ING Direct. MLC Masterkey
Okay,
Super,
these mean nothing to me.
NAB. Colonial First State Super. Some are
Sorry, that was
open to anyone, while others are limited to employees in
It was
specific
just kind of meaningless. The names of the funds.
industries. Different funds available to reflect different industries. Amount of investment options available is usually smaller than with retail funds. Industry funds are not-for-profit organizations. Some of the best-known industry super funds include Australian Super, REST Industry Super, Legal Super,
There's a lot of them.
set up by an employer for its employees. Membership is usually restricted to current and former employees. May run as an industry fund or a retail fund. Group insurance is often negotiated by employer with the trustee on behalf of its employees. Self-managed super funds.
Group insurance. Insurance for what?
A private super fund that you manage yourself.
Oh, man. That's risky. I like it. That's what I'd do.
Have up to 4 members who are also trustees and responsible for decisions and complying with laws. No membership fees, but costs include the cost of administration, investing, accounting, and auditing. More control of investment choice. Generally only cost-effective for people with certain amounts of superannuation assets. The table in the figure shows an overview of superfund accounts and assets by fund type. What all should we consider when choosing a super fund? Choosing an account with lower fees. What are the common superannuation fund fees? Administration
Guys, I'm going to see.
fees.
I'm going to skip ahead during, this video. While I understand this video was never going to be super popular or like from the beginning, I still don't want to, sit here
Cover the cost of
and
the
make y'all watch the super boring part.
administration and operation of your fund. Investment fees. Cover the management and investment of your savings into assets.
I'm still very interested in this, though. I am learning. I'm loving it. And thank you to Ange for sending this in. I'm just saying there's certain parts of it.
Like shares and property, etc. Indirect costs. Costs paid to external providers that affect the value of your investment. Buy or sell spread fees. Fund provides. Exit fees. Fees for bailing out or closing a super fund.
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out is when will you not get an exit fee? You know what I mean? This is kind of similar to 401ks here in America, except it's way better for the employee. With a 401k here in America, typically your employer will match. You're going to have to put whatever you want, like a certain percent, like say 4% of your salary into the 401k, and then your employer will match that 4% more. So they're only paying 4% into it, and you're paying 4% into it.
Activity-based fees.
And then there's regulations on, when you can exit and fees if you take it out early. And I think the age is 65 is when you can start withdrawing.
Fees charged for a specific service like splitting your super after a marriage, separation, etc.
Oh.
Here is a chart showing how much difference in super balance can small fees make.
Holy crap, $1 million. Beginning salary, $45,000. 4% increase annually. 10% contributions. Ooh, investment return, 8%. That's pretty good. Annual fees. Okay, so this is just the difference with the annual fees. Right. Look at that. You'd have $300,000 less dollars if your fee was 1.5% as opposed to 0.75%. It's the kind of thing you wouldn't even realize. You get to the end of your life that you or you get to retirement and you don't die when you retire. But that you're 300,000 shorter than you would have been. You know what I mean? That's a feels bad moment. And then if it was 70,000 a year, you'd be 450,000 lower. Oh, I guess I could have just read these numbers down here. They already did the
Comparing
math.
your fund's performance with others. A small difference
That's fun. You can have a little competition.
in average super performance, as little as 1%, can really add up over the years. Here's a hypothetical example. That's why when looking at a super fund's past investment success, simply looking at a 12-month difference may not be enough. It can be a better idea to look at that fund's performance over many years, which is something you'll be able to find on your super statement. Combining accounts if you have more than one. Having 2 or more super accounts from different workplaces means you're paying 2 or more sets of annual fees.
Ooh.
That's crazy. With 30 million member accounts and only around 8 million Australians aged between 20 and 80, there's definitely some duplication there.
You guys got to get on that, okay? Don't be giving the banks more money. They're not going to call you up and let you know, hey, you want to combine your accounts? Yeah, you're paying us double.
So instead of your boss contributing to a new fund every time you change jobs, consolidate your super accounts into one fund you're happy with.
Now who do we got?
Why do Indiana families trust Beetle?
I doubt.
Is it because of our
Checking your insurance before you change funds. More than 70% of Australians that have life insurance hold it through super. Most super funds offer life, total and permanent disability, TPD, and income protection insurance for their members. When reviewing your insurance, check check if you're covered through your super fund. Compare it with what's available outside super to find the right policy for you. Super funds typically offer 3 types of life insurance for their members. Life cover. All beneficiaries pays you a benefit if you become seriously disabled and period. This could be for 2 years, 5 years, or up to a certain age if you can't work due to temporary disability or illness.
So I guess the fees for the insurance come straight out of your super. They're not penalized. So it's a way of like withdrawing from your super for certain things like insurance, life insurance. That makes sense.
How much super do I need before I retire?
There we go.
When it comes to retirement, there's no
Depends.
one-size-fits-all approach. However, to give you a rough guide,
Depends if you're renting a tent in someone's backyard in Sydney or a 3-bedroom apartment in Sydney. It's going to be a big difference.
the Association of Superannuation Funds of Australia, ASFA's 2018 Retirement Standard Report suggests that singles would need $545,000 in super, and couples would need a combined $640,000 to fund a comfortable retirement.
It's interesting how that's not that different.
What exactly is a comfortable retirement? According
Not
to
starving.
ASFA, it would enable a healthy retiree to be involved in a broad range of leisure and recreational activities and purchase things like a reasonable car, good clothes, electronics, as well as domestic and occasional overseas travel. Does it cost money to change super funds? Super funds cannot charge you a fee for moving all or part of your money to a different fund.
Oh, good.
Legislation banning exit fees came into effect on July 1st, 2019, as part of the government's Protecting Your Super package. How to find lost super.
That would be messed up if they could charge you a fee just to do that.
According to the Australian Taxation Office, ATO, there are more than 6.2 million lost and ATO-held accounts. As of June 30th, 2019, that adds up to $20.8 billion of super money potentially being lost because an individual is uncontactable, has let their account become inactive, or hasn't claimed their money.
Guys, I'll claim your account if you don't want it.
According to the ATO, your super fund will report you as a lost member in one of the following situations. They have not been able to contact you. They have not received any contributions or rollover amounts for you in the last 5 years. Your account was transferred from another fund as money that is potentially being eaten into by administration fees and life insurance premiums. Multiple unclaimed super accounts could mean multiple annual fees and insurance premiums being subtracted. In some cases, fees could be deducted until idle accounts run out of money and are closed.
They just take your entire super in fees. You gotta find your super accounts, guys. Well, that was really interesting, honestly. That was very interesting. Man, wow, the sun is bright. Anyway, most notable things I'd say is that sounds like a much more comprehensive system for the people. I like that. You know what I mean? As opposed to America, where we have pensions really aren't even hardly a thing anymore. Outside of the government, of course, they give themselves pensions. But it's mostly just 401ks, and half that money is just money you're contributing to it. And you're only getting a 401k at like a full-time job that, not every job offers a 401k is what I'm saying. And the terms of the 401ks vary drastically. You know what I mean? Some of them they might only match like 1%. So this is very cool. And the fact that it applies to contractors and part-time workers, that is awesome. I love it. Thank you so much for watching. I don't know how many people watched to the end of this video, but you're pretty cool. I can barely see you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.